Okay, now this story here, I'm going to tell you. I got to give you a little bit of background. Okay, the in Little Falls we had a movie theater called the Oxford Theater, and it had been built probably in the 20s. Okay, but if you go into a theater today, they're real big. But when you get inside, it's got 10 or 14 or 15 little theaters. They're small, but they got these great big seats and stuff. They don't seat a lot of people. In those days, one theater, okay, and this place would seat, oh, I'd say 15, 1600 people, big. By today's standards, big theater, but it was only one. That was it, one show. So on Saturdays, when we were kids, they would show like a double feature and a bunch of cartoons. And I think it was designed to basically entice parents to say, hey, send your kids down there on a rainy day or something like that, or anytime, and we'll babysit them for 3 or 4 hours, you know what I mean? So, and it was 25 cents to go to movies. Now, for me, 25 cents, forget it. I almost never went to the movies. And most of my friends, let me say this, only a couple of guys I knew that, went to the movies. 25 cents. I had to work, I had to work a long time for 25 cents to cover paper route and stuff. So anyway, but every once in a while there'd be something really good playing, whatever really good was. And we would say, I'd like to go to movies. So we would get together and we cooked up this plan. This is James Bond would be proud of us, okay? We gather up 25 cents, bottles, whatever we could do, 25 cents. It's like 6 or 7 of us, right? Now, it turns out that I had maybe a little more chutzpah than the rest of the guys. I mean, I was the guy that, went out and knocked on doors and got people to sign up for the newspaper. I sold chances for the church and stuff, I cut grass. I did whatever, So I didn't have a problem going up and talking. So I looked honest. At least I thought I did anyway. So I would take the quarter. And then what we do is go to the movie theater. Those guys would go down around the back and they would go to the exit and they would wait at the exit in the back. Then I would go up and I'd say, hey, look, I'd stop at the thing and I'd say, look, my mother thinks that my brother's here and I just want to check to see if he is. And so, here's a quarter, but, if he's not here, then I don't really want to buy a ticket. So, but here's a quarter just in case, so you let me in. And they thought, wow, this is an honest little kid. He's not just giving me a line saying, let me in, and then he doesn't come out. So I give him the quarter. Now, they don't click a ticket, but they open the door and say, hey, to the usher there, collect and say, hey, let this guy through. He's looking for his brother. So now I go in, do. Now, I wait around because I know the script, right? They start out with this newsreel. And the newsreel is really loud. This guy has a big voice, and he's talking about this happening in California, and Ford Motor Company just announced that, whatever, a new TWA airplane or something, And nobody had TV in those days, or very few people had TV. So the newsreel was, people watch it. It was interesting, So anyway, I go in, I wait around. Now, when that starts, I go over down in front. I just walk over, boom, I just hit the lever on the exit door. Now, those guys are all waiting out there. So as soon as it pops, they just hold the door, right? They only got it, it's only open ½ inch, right? They got their hands in there. They give me to the count of about 25. I walk up the aisle, I go into the bathroom, right? And because I don't want to be anywhere around in the bathroom. Then they open the door and they sneak in, right? And then I come out of the bathroom, go over, and then I say to people, and sometimes I would do it one way or the other. I would say, nah, I'm not good. Because I wasn't big on movies. So sometimes I would just say, he's not here, give me the quarter, and I'd take off. And we'd just whack up the quarter later and buy sodas or something. And sometimes I'd just say, he's here, and look, movie looks good, I'm going to stay and watch the movie. So they kept the quarter. Okay, but we all got in for a few cents apiece. So anyway, over 3 or 4 years, we probably do this 10 times, right? And works like a champ. I mean, James Bond would be proud of us. I mean, it was a clandestine, well thought out, man, executed every time. So this is maybe I'm like sophomore, junior in high school. And believe it or not, I'm in the movie on a Saturday. It's a matinee kind of thing. But all I can think of is it must have been some movie about a book I was supposed to read in high school, and I didn't want to read the book, so I was watching the movie. But I'm sitting there, and now I'm inside now, right? So the newsreel comes on, and I didn't see the kid open the door, but this is probably Dennis, my brother Dennis and his crew. That's the next generation of kids, right? So all of a sudden, the newsreel's on, the door opens up. Well, now I'm on the inside, so I never saw this because I was in the bathroom. The door opens up. Well, it's a matinee. It's light out. When the door opens up, big flash of light across the screen. You can barely see what's on the screen. And then these shadows, gigantic shadows, because the lights behind them shining on the screen. Here comes a bunch of kids running, and they're running across in front of the stage and trying to hide, and the ushers are running after them. Ay, 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 what a commotion. And the people are laughing and joking around, the people in the audience standing up and stuff like that. And it was hilarious. And I'm sitting back saying, this was our clandestine operation in action every time I'm in the bathroom. So, it was, I just, all those years saying, I could see these guys every time shooting all over the place, running around trying to hide. But the good old days, what we would do for a quarter. Well, we'll talk about that later. But every time we played any game, anything, we had something called chippies. Chippies on everything. Chippies meant you chip in. We lose a baseball, you chip in and buy it. We break a bat, you chip in and buy it. Okay, it was chippies on everything because people just didn't have the money, to do that. Anyway, that's the end of that story.